Shirt, an overview. A shirt is a cloth garment for the upper body from the neck to the waist. Originally an undergarment worn exclusively by men, it has become, in American English, a catch-all term for a broad variety of upper body garments and undergarments. In British English, a shirt is more specifically a garment with a collar, sleeves with cuffs, and a full vertical opening with buttons or snaps. North Americans would call that a dress shirt, a specific type of collared shirt. A shirt can also be worn with a necktie under the shirt collar. History. The world's oldest preserved garment, discovered by Flinders Petrie, is a highly sophisticated linen shirt from a 1st dynasty Egyptian tomb at Aken, dated to c. 3000 BC. The shoulders and sleeves have been finely pleated to give form-fitting trimness while allowing the wearer room to move. The small fringe formed during weaving along one edge of the cloth has been placed by the designer to decorate the neck opening and side seam. The shirt was an item of clothing that only men could wear as underwear until the 20th century. Although the women's chemise was a closely related garment to the men's, it is the men's garment that became the modern shirt. In the Middle Ages, it was a plain, undied garment worn next to the skin and under regular garments. In medieval artworks, the shirt is only visible uncovered on humble characters, such as shepherds, prisoners, and penitents. In the 17th century, men's shirts were allowed to show, with much the same erotic import as visible underwear today. In the 18th century, instead of underpants, men relied on the long tails of shirts to serve the function of drawers. 18th century costume historian Joseph Strutt believed that men who did not wear shirts to bed were indecent. Even as late as 1879, a visible shirt with nothing over it was considered improper. Shirts sometimes had frills at the neck or cuffs. In the 16th century, men's shirts often had embroidery, and sometimes frills or lace at the neck and cuffs, and through the 18th century long neck frills, or jabots, were fashionable. Collared shirts began to appear in the early 19th century, as can be seen in the paintings of George Caleb Ingham. They were considered casual wear for lower-class workers only, until the 20th century. For a gentleman to wear a sky blue shirt was unthinkable in 1860, but had become standard by 1920 and, in 1980, constituted the most commonplace event. European and American women began wearing shirts in 1860, when the Garibaldi shirt, a red shirt as worn by the freedom fighters under Giuseppe Garibaldi, was popularized by Empress Eugenie of France. At the end of the 19th century, the Century Dictionary described an ordinary shirt as of cotton, with linen bosom, wristbands and cuffs prepared for stiffening with starch, the collar and wristbands being usually separate and adjustable. The first documented appearance of the expression "to give the shirt off one's back" happened in 1771 as an idiom that indicates extreme desperation or generosity and is still in common usage. In 1827, Hannah Montague, a housewife in upstate New York, invents the detachable collar. Tired of constantly washing her husband's entire shirt when only the collar needed it, she cut off his collars and devised a way of attaching them to the neckband after washing. It wasn't until the eras that collar stays became popular, although these early accessories resembled tie clips more than the small collar stiffeners available today. They connected the collar points to the necktie, keeping them in place. Ties. Camp shirt, a loose, straight-cut, short-sleeve shirt or blouse with a simple placket front opening and a camp collar. Dress shirt with a formal, somewhat stiff collar, a full-length opening at the front from the collar to the hem, usually buttoned, and sleeves with cuffs. White shirt, usually dress shirt which is white in color. Dinner shirt, a shirt specifically made to be worn with male evening wear, e.g. a black tie or white tie. Hawaii wear an embroidered dress shirt with 4 pockets. Poet shirt, a loose-fitting shirt or blouse with full bishop sleeves, usually with large frills on the front and on the cuffs. T-shirt, also t-shirt, a casual shirt without a collar or buttons, made of a stretchy, finely knit fabric, usually cotton, and usually short-sleeved. Originally worn under other shirts, it is now a common shirt for everyday wear in some countries. A long-sleeve t-shirt, a t-shirt with long sleeves that extend to cover the arms. Rain-knit t-shirt with a separate piece of fabric sewn on as the collar and sleeve ends. Raglan t-shirt, a t-shirt with a raglan sleeve, a sleeve that extends in one piece fully to the collar, leaving a diagonal seam from underarm to collarbone. Half shirt, a high-hem t-shirt. Sleeveless shirt, a shirt manufactured without sleeves, or one whose sleeves have been cut off, also called a tank top. A shirt or vest or singlet in British English, essentially a sleeveless shirt with large armholes and a large neck hole, often worn by labourers or athletes for increased mobility. Camisole, woman's undershirt with narrow straps, or a similar garment worn alone, often with bra. Also referred to as a cami, shelf top, spaghetti straps or strappy top. Polo shirt, also tennis shirt or golf shirt, a pullover soft collar short sleeve shirt with an abbreviated button placket at the neck and a longer back than front, the tennis tail. Rugby shirt, a long sleeve polo shirt, traditionally of rugged construction and that cotton or wool, but often softer today. Henley shirt, a collarless polo shirt. Baseball shirt jersey, usually distinguished by a 3/4 sleeve, team insignia, and flat waist seam. Sweatshirt, long-sleeved athletic shirt of heavier material, with or without hood. Tunic, primitive shirt, distinguished by 2-piece construction. Initially a men's garment, is normally seen in modern times being worn by women. Shaped waist, historically circa. A woman's tailored shirt, also called a tailored waistcoat, like a man's dress shirt. In contemporary usage, a woman's dress cut like a men's dress shirt to the waist, then extended into dress length at the bottom. Nightshirt, often oversized, ruined or inexpensive light cloth undergarment shirt for sleeping. Halter top, a shoulderless, sleeveless garment for women. It is mechanically analogous to an apron with a string around the back of the neck and across the lower back holding it in place. Top shirt, a long-sleeved collarless polo shirt. Heavy shirt, a shirt with a heavy size that covers up under the neck. Unnecessary or diaper shirt, a shirt for infants which includes a long back that is wrapped between the legs and buttoned to the front of the shirt. Tube top in American English or boob tube in British English, a shoulderless, sleeveless tube that wraps the torso, not reaching higher than the armpit, staying in place by elasticity or by a single strap that is attached to the front of the tube. Punishment shirts were special shirts made for the condemned, either those cursed supernaturally, such as the poison shirt that killed Chrysa, daughter of Cream, the shirt of Nessus used to kill Hercules, those used to execute people in ancient Rome, such as the tunica molester, and those used in church heresy trials, such as the shirt of flame or the San Benito. Parts of shirt. Many terms are used to describe and differentiate types of shirts and upper body garments in general and their construction. The smallest differences may have significance to a cultural or occupational group. Recently, late 20th century, into the 21st century, it has become common to use tops as a form of advertisement. Many of these distinctions apply to other upper body garments, such as coats and sweaters. Sleeves. Shirts may have no covering of the shoulders or arms, a tube top not reaching higher than the armpits, staying in place by elasticity. Have only shoulder straps, such as spaghetti straps. Cover the shoulders, but without sleeves. Have shoulderless sleeves, short or long, with or without shoulder straps, that expose the shoulders, but cover the rest of the arm from the biceps and triceps down to at least the elbow. Have short sleeves varying from cap sleeves covering only the shoulder and not extending below the armpit to half sleeves elbow length, with some having quarter-length sleeves reaching to a point that covers half of the biceps and triceps area. Have three-quarter-length sleeves reaching to a point between the elbow and the wrist. Have long sleeves reaching a point to the wrist or a little beyond wrist. Cuffs. Shirts with long sleeves may further be distinguished by the cuffs. No buttons or closed placket cuff. Buttons or analogous fasteners such as snap single or multiple. A single button or pair aligned parallel with the cuff hem is considered a button cuff. Multiple buttons aligned perpendicular to the cuff hem or parallel to the placket constitute a barrel cuff. Buttonholes designed for cufflinks. A French cuff, where the end half of the cuff is folded over the cuff itself and fastened with a cuff link. This type of cuff has 4 buttons and a short placket. More formally, a link cuff fastened like a French cuff, except is not folded over but instead hemmed at the edge of the sleeve. Asymmetrical designs, such as one shoulder, one sleeve or with sleeves of different lengths. Lower hem, hanging to the waist. Leaving the belly button area bare much more common for women than for men. See half shirt. Covering the crotch. Covering part of the legs essentially this is a dress. However, a piece of clothing is perceived either as a shirt worn with trousers or as a dress in Western culture mainly worn by women. Going to the floor as a pajama shirt. Neck, with polo neck, with scoop neck, with V-neck but no collar, with plunging neck, with open or tassel neck, with collar, Windsor collar or spread collar dressier collar designed with a wide distance between points is spread to accommodate the Windsor knot tie. The standard business collar. Tab collar, a collar with 2 small fabric tabs that fasten together behind a tie to maintain collar spread. Wing collar best suited for the boat tie, often only worn for very formal occasions. Straight collar or point collar, a version of the Windsor collar that is distinguished by a narrow spread to better accommodate the 4-in-hand knot, Pratt knot, and the half Windsor knot. A moderate dress collar. Button-down collar with buttons that fasten the points or tips to shirt. The most casual of collars worn with a tie. Band collar, essentially the lower part of a normal collar, first used as the original collar to which a separate collar piece was attached. Rarely seen in modern fashion. Also casual. Turtleneck collar, a collar that covers most of the throat. Without collar. V-neck, no collar, the neckline protrudes down the chest and to a point, creating a V-looking neckline. Other features. Pockets, how many if any, where, and with regard to closure, not closable, just a flap or with a button or zipper. With or without hits and combinations are not applicable. E.g. a tube top cannot have a collar. Measures and sizes. The main measures for a jacket are shoulders, bust, waist, hip, sleeve, length from the neck to the waist or hip. Sizes. Issue size MSU size XS. Issue size LSU size S. Issue size XL LSU size M. Issue size XX LSU size L. Issue size XXX, LSU size XL. Issue size XXXX, LSU size XXL. Types of fabric. There are two main categories of fibers used: natural fiber and man-made fiber. Synthetics were petroleum-based. Some natural fibers are linen, the first used historically, hemp, cotton, the most used, ramie, wool, silk, and more recently bamboo or soya. Some synthetic fibers are polyester, tencel, viscose, etc. Polyester mixed with cotton polycotton is often used. Fabrics for shirts are called shirtings. The four main weaves for shirtings are plain weave, Oxford, twill, and satin. Broadcloth, poplin, and end-on-end are variations of the plain weave. After weaving, finishing can be applied to the fabric. Shirts and politics. In the Rs and Rs, fascists wore different coloured shirts. Black shirts were used by the Italian fascists, and in Britain, Finland, and Germany and Croatia. Brown shirts were worn by German Nazis of the SA. The blue shirts was a fascist movement in Ireland and Canada, and the colour of the Portuguese Nacional Sindicalistas, the Spanish Falange Espola, the French Solidarité Française, and the Chinese Blue Shirt Society. Green shirts were used in Hungary, Ireland, Romania, Brazil, and Portugal. Camus's Dordas golden shirts were used in Mexico. Red shirts were worn by the racist and anti-Semitic Bulgarian Ratniks. Silver shirts were worn in the United States of America. Grey shirts were worn by members of the Fatherland League in Norway. In addition, red shirts have been used to symbolize a variety of different political groups, including Garibaldi's Italian revolutionaries, 19th century America's street gangs, and socialist militias in Spain and Mexico during the Rs. Different colored shirts signified the major opposing sides that featured prominently in the 2008 Thai political crisis, with red having been worn by the supporters of the Populist People's Power Party PPP, and yellow being worn by the supporters of the Royalist and Anti-Vaccination Ultra Movement, the People's Alliance for Democracy PAD. Each side is commonly referred to as the red shirts and yellow shirts respectively, though the later opponents of the later vaccine supporting groups have largely ceased wearing yellow shirts to protest rallies. In the UK, the social credit movement of the 30s wore green shirts. The party leaders of Dravida Khanhhoangminh in India wore only black shirts to symbolize atheism. Thank you for watching our video on shirt brought to you by egamiFX. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.